GAC has been one of the, if not the fastest growing car company in the Philippines, not just because of their low price offerings, but because of what kind of cars they're offering. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and GAC has a fighter in the compact crossover SUV segment, and I think it really has a great chance of winning that fight. This is the GAC Emkoo. GAC calls this more of like a high-tech industrial design, but what I call it is more like a diamond cut pattern. I'm going to show you all those things later on as we move around the car, but first check out this frameless single grille that we have right here. I call it frameless because you can barely see it. You actually don't see it. Doesn't have any of the any edges to this particular grille right here. All you have are these straight cut lines here. You got these LED DRLs, LED headlamps straight underneath them as well, and you don't have fog lamps here because it gets really bright, especially at night. This particular variant also has automatic headlamps, a camera system right here underneath the large GAC badge, another camera system right there on top. It works with GAC's Adigo advanced driver assist systems, which really helps out, especially when you're driving. It's got level 2 autonomous driving, and I'm going to talk more about that later on. Overall, the look of the GAC Emzoom really reminds you a lot of those concept cars that you usually read about. But this one ain't no concept car. This is real. This is out there on the road. It's real in the metal. This is basically one of the more interesting looking crossover SUVs in the market today. And with the plethora of models that are available, interesting might really give you that edge. Let's take a look at the side more right here. Those 19-inch alloy wheels shot in 235 55 R19 tires are certainly one of the chunkier ones in this segment. I'm not sure about that two-tone alloy wheel look. It kind of looks like it has a broken up design, but again, like I said, it has that diamond cut pattern that a lot of people seem to like, and GAC has fully implemented all around the GAC Emkoo. I like how sharply sculpted those side mirrors are. You got a chrome strip underneath it, as well as another camera that works with a 360-degree camera system. You got these pop-out door handles that really mimics an electric cars. You got those plastic claddings all around, but what I love most about those plastic claddings is that unlike some other crossover SUVs where they leave it unpainted and blacked out, this one has some sort of sheen to it, which actually accentuates the entire look of the GAC Emkoo. Now, I like the sharp lines here. The blacked out A-pillar gives it a little bit more fun, especially when it comes to design, but this sharp line that comes across from the headlamp to that disappears right here, it kind of forms some sort of blade look, especially when looking at from this angle right here on this side. If you notice, this particular panel right here looks like it actually rakes down, giving it a really nice sharp, literal sharp look. And some people have actually commented that this part right here looks like it has, well, looks like it was underwent some sort of collision. I mean, knock on wood. And some people might like it, some people do like it. I personally absolutely love it. I really like how the tail lamps peek out on the side right here. These tail lamps, I'm going to talk about more of that later on, but it creates some sort of contrast pattern in a way. It really adds a little bit more interest and more pizzazz to the design. You've got 160 millimeters of ground clearance, putting it right square in the crossover SUV segment. Overall, this is probably one of my favorites when it comes to the side profiles, but wait till you see the back. We got a really big show when it comes to that one. Oh, right, we're still on? Oh, sorry. I can't really help myself, but you have to take pictures of this rear end. I mean, if I were to award a particular, a car for designing the rear end, this is probably gonna take the cake for me. If not, it's gonna be in my top 3, because look at it. It looks like a stealth fighter. Even when you're parked like this, you've got these LED tail lamp DRLs. Look at how thinly placed these tail lamps are. I love how the spoiler looks right here. You got this split design for the third brake lamp. You got the sharp patterns here. These ones, these aren't actually exhausts. They're just there to create a certain design and give the overall design of the GAC Emkoo this cohesive look. I mean, they're gonna go all out with this futuristic design, so they went ahead and did it anyway. You got two fang looking cutouts right here that act as diffusers. I'm not sure how that works out. You've got another camera right here. You got the GAC badge, and of course the Emkoo logo at the end right here has this double O design at the end, looking like an infinity logo, which is really nice looking. Back to the function part of the GAC Emkoo. I'm going to grab the key back. All right, so as I said, the GAC Emkoo actually recognizes if the key is right here in the back. So you can just freely open it up like that, even if the car is locked. And as you can see, you've got a lot of space inside here in the back to put all your items in. It's easy here as well because you have a low loading floor. So if you can put this large item, you just put it right there, no problems. The only problem with this though is that because of the raked roof line here at the back, you might encounter some problems if your large item actually passes through here. So if you need to put your luggage or your suitcases, your large suitcases, you're gonna have to push it all the way back here, so it's within this particular part of the car, and it closes out easily. But again, if you need more space, you can actually fold those rear seats down. They fold down fairly flat. All right, so overall, the look of the GAC Emkoo, it's a winner for me. It may be a little bit too much for some people, but again, this is something, welcome to the future, guys. It's 2024. So if you want to have some sort of driving experience and you know that everyone's gonna look at you, a GAC Emkoo just might be your cup of tea. I'm not sure how this is gonna stand 5 or 10 years down the line, but don't worry about it. That's 5 or 10 years down the line. What you wanna know is the now, and right now, this is the new hotness. All right, so we're inside the GAC Emkoo. You've got a 10.1-inch touchscreen infotainment system here that does have Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay. It is very responsive. I mean, I usually dread driving a more affordable car that has a touchscreen because of how unresponsive those things are. But this one here, it's very responsive. The thing is, it does not have any dials or switches to control your fan speed, your HVAC or AC, or your volume. But it does have a couple of sliders here that you could use. For example, you could slide it up, slide it down. It's easy to control. But the thing is, as a driver, it is pretty far off right here on the right side, which means only your passenger, the front passenger, will be able to control that more comfortably. You do have some buttons right here on the steering wheel which you can control the volume. Of course you could do that, but there's still something more intuitive, more satisfying by using a dial more than that. Okay, so but anyway, I like the way the steering wheel does feel. It's pretty thick and chunky, and you can control it for both reach and rake this way. The rake part though isn't high enough for me, so you still drive like a bus driver, where the steering wheel is way below here, so that's a no-go for me. But it's nice because you can still customize the way your driving position would be. You do have power seats here, 6-way for the driver, and you do have power seats as well for the front passenger, 4-way for the passenger. The passenger doesn't get height adjustment, but at least they do have power seats, so that's nice. I like how the center console looks. It doesn't have the piano black that I don't like. It does have piano black though, but you have these pattern designs here to hide your fingerprints and your shame, but you got it right there. So you got your hazard button up top. I wish they put the start stop button somewhere here or somewhere else, not too close to the shifter and the hazard light. You've got this receptacle for your phone, but if you think that that's a wireless charger, nope, that's not a wireless charger. It's just a nice place for you to put your phone in. You also have a nice place here, nice shelf for you to put all your stuff in. You got your USB ports, USB-A and USB-C, which means it is pretty future-proof, and you can put all your things underneath there as well, so it won't be flying around. The dashboard is really nice, and it doesn't look like something that's just plastered on right there. Plus, it's got soft touch materials everywhere with red stitching, red contrast stitching. You got the same red contrast stitching right here on the door cards, on the seats. You got the GAC badge right here, plus this weird red stuff on the middle, which indicates that it might be a little sporty. Might be sporty, but anyway, you got this interesting looking door handle it doesn't actually look like a door handle. It looks like a door toggle switch. So just pull it up that way and it opens up. So for anyone who's driving inside a car, they might need a little bit of a learning curve just to operate the car, but once you do get used to it, it's perfectly fine. Got this crystal shifter here. Again, like I said, this does have a diamond cut look from the outside. This looks like the diamond that they use to cut everything on the outside, in my opinion, but I like how it's nicely chunky. It gives you nice confidence while you're driving. There you go. It's an interesting look, an interesting way to offer a shifter. But what is interesting about the interior though are these toggles right here underneath the touchscreen infotainment system. If you really didn't know what this is, you wouldn't be touching it, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is a control toggle for your temperature. So just toggle it up and you'll see that the ambient lighting turns orange or amber. That means you're heating the car up. Toggle it down, it turns green or blue, which means you're cooling it down. This also has smart ventilation for your seats. So you got ventilated seats. It's pretty strong, pretty powerful, but it's also pretty loud. All right, so overall, it's a mixed bag for me when it comes to the interior, but I'm glad that it is, well, it's beautifully crafted and solidly crafted as well. So let's take a look at the rear section of the car and see how that works out for the rear passengers. All right, now being a compact crossover SUV, this definitely gives you a huge advantage over smaller SUVs like subcompacts. But this one here, this is why you buy a compact SUV. You got large spaces, you got nice comfortable room for all your passengers. I can definitely see three, that's right, three of myself sitting here in the back. I appreciate that that this has some sort of real comfort in the middle, so you can legitimately put three passengers here. It's just a bummer that if you're riding here in the back all by yourself, you don't have a center armrest. But that's okay because you got this really flat floor for your feet. So even though I'm riding behind my own optimum driving position, which is laid back and a little bit tilted, see? It's even farther than the front passenger. I still have loads, not just loads, acres of room for my knees here. See, this much room right here in the back, plus my feet, is unencumbered by any center tunnel or even the seat. Plus, besides the fact that you have a huge unencumbered panoramic sunroof right here, which by the way doesn't open because it's just a solid piece of glass. Even though you have that, you still have lots of headroom. This is a passenger's car. This is a real compact crossover SUV that I can see that a real family of 5 can be using on a daily basis and still be comfortable inside. So you got your safety features, you got your ISOFIX anchors right here. So even though you have one of those jumbo car seats for your kids, they will fit here without any problems. This is a well thought of crossover SUV, and this is really winning me over. You got soft touch everything, space, AC vents here in the middle, which is pretty nice, as well as a single solitary USB port. All right, so we're behind the wheel of the GAC Emkoo. This is the top of the line GL variant. So under the hood, you've got a 1.5 liter turbocharged direct injection gasoline engine, and GAC calls it mega wave power. It's the same engine found in the same engine basically in the GAC Zoom and the Empow, and this is the third M, the Emkoo. So with that mega wave power engine, you've got 3 drive modes. You got comfort, you've got eco, and you've got sport. So what those drive modes are is that it adjusts the throttle response based on what you need. But right now we are in eco mode because that's my preferred mode right now. But let's go ahead and go to sport mode. So with sport mode, let's go ahead and try this one right here. It goes. It definitely goes. Let's keep within the speed limit here, guys. All right, so here are a couple of things about the performance of the GAC Emkoo. The GAC Emkoo seems to have some sort of a bit of lag, especially when you come from a standstill to a complete go. But the thing with this type of engine though is that if you keep within the particular power band of the rev range, for example when you're cruising along the highway or simply just puttering along the city, you're not really going below 1000 RPMs anyway. You're between 1400 to around 2,500, 3,000. So that's within the rev range. So on a rolling start, it's definitely very responsive. It's very, well, the response comes in right away, especially when you're in sport mode. But the problem with that though is that when you're in comfort mode or sport mode, with this 7-speed wet type dual clutch transmission can get a little jerky, but compared to its contemporaries with the same type of transmission, this is more finely tuned than that. It's just the nature of 7-speed dual clutches to be that jerky, I gotta say. But once you put it on comfort mode, that's why that is my preferred driving mode in the Emkoo. It's virtually non-existent, it's virtually not there. So it actually drives like, I almost want to say that it drives like a CVT when it comes to smoothness, because it's really easy to modulate the throttle pedal, and it gives you the right amount of response that you need, and I like that. But it still can get pretty fast. GAC actually quoted that this can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in a hair under 7 seconds or so. And I believe that figure actually. If you put it on sport mode, turn off traction control, and launch it, it can get that quick. It's just that you won't be really needing that. It's in the real world driving situations where you can feel the usable power of the GAC Emkoo. Now, when it comes to NVH levels, the GAC Emkoo is certainly a cut above the rest, especially compared to its rivals in the same price point. Now, you do have huge 19-inch alloy wheels on each side here, plus 235/55 tires, which really isn't the best configuration for comfort, but because of the independent suspension up front as well as in the back, it does a great job keeping the noise at a bare minimum as well. This is definitely one of the more quiet, the more comfortable crossover SUVs in the market today. The one downside of this though is that because you got softer suspension, because you've got all this weight around, this is not going to be the most nimble of cars, especially when going through the twisties. Now, there are a couple of things that I actually find difficult in the GAC Emkoo. There are a couple of menu and even some car features that can only be found in the touchscreen infotainment system, like I mentioned. For example, if you need to change your drive modes, you won't find any buttons here to do that. In the GAC Emzoom, you actually have some physical buttons there, and you can change drive modes by just simply shifting down, which is easy. But here you have to dig through the system, go to Shadow Driver, Economy, Sport, and all that, and you can find it there. Now, if you need to activate the the electronic parking brake, you have to go through this menu and all that. And you can actually just turn a couple of stuff off there as well. There you go, man. I'm deactivating the automatic brake hold. See, I can't even find it. I'm trying to remember where it is, but there. No, it's not there. Where the hell is it? So anyway, it is on the home screen. Just hit the economy and all that. You can just turn off a couple of things here as well. But that is a hassle for me. Instead of having to put a button here to activate those menu options, you have to dig through this menu here just to do that, which is a pain for me to do. Now, when it comes to fuel economy, don't expect the GAC Emkoo to have subcompact SUV, subcompact hatchback type of fuel economy, because this is still a pretty heavy car. This is a pretty heavy crossover SUV. Clocks in about north of 1,500 kilograms, so it's in that particular territory where it's not the lightest thing in the world. So during city driving, heavy city driving, I might add, you will get around 7 kilometers per liter, 7 to 8 kilometers per liter in the city. When you get to the highway though, that's when things get get really impressive. I mean, you can go up to 16 to 17 kilometers per liter on the highway. That 7-speed dual clutch transmission really does its job really well with trying to rein in the power as efficiently as it can through the rev range. So yes, this is definitely a good highway cruiser. You can get good fuel economy, great power, great speed on the highway. In the city, 7 to 8 kilometers per liter is the norm. Safety features of the GAC Emkoo GL include, well, everything that you need, including the kitchen sink. So you got multiple airbags, ABS with electronic brake force distribution. By the way, this has 4-wheel disc brakes all around, which just feel really nice, by the way. You've got stability control, you've got 360-degree camera system, a rear parking sensors, advanced driver assist systems as well. You got adaptive cruise control with low speed follow. It also has lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and all that. Again, whatever safety system that you're looking for, it's got it right here. Unless you're looking for AI systems, it doesn't have that though. Pricing for the GAC Emkoo starts at 1,298,000 pesos for the entry-level GE variant. The GE variant has a couple of missing items inside. For example, you don't get the panoramic sunroof, you don't get the power tailgate feature, you got smaller wheels. Instead of the 19 inches, you get 18 inches, and it has a weird design to it. Probably looks like a flat design that's more akin to an electric vehicle, and some people don't like that, some people do, so it's basically fine. But everything else inside will stay the same. You still get the advanced driver assist systems that comes as standard. You get the same screen, you get the same amenities inside, but for 200,000 pesos less. This one right here, as tested, the full fat version comes in at 1,498,000 pesos. So this has everything here that I mentioned that earlier. I still have some issues with the menu system. There's some issues with the connectivity, with basically ergonomics, and even with the performance, especially in traffic. But you can get away with experiencing 85 or 90% of those more expensive vehicles for basically almost half the price. So I'm sorry if I'm giving you more anxiety with your choices with your cars, but the GAC Emkoo is certainly one thing to consider. Plus, you got a 5-year warranty or 150,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. So again, you might want to consider the GAC Emkoo over some other models you have in mind. So head on over to the nearest GAC dealership. They got a lot and even more coming in the future, and figure it out for yourself. For me, this is a very easy recommendation, and you most likely won't be regretting this one. So there you have it, folks, the GAC Emkoo. It's not just form over function, but it definitely leans more towards the form part, but the function is definitely there. I think it can really stand its ground, especially with the more established crossover SUVs in the market, especially those much more expensive than it. And I can say it can definitely do battle with it just because of the looks alone. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you love how the Emkoo looks? Are you interested in getting one? I'm sure that you can get one through Zigwheels.Ph. We can get you the best prices. And you know what? Subscribe to our channel. A lot of you guys are watching our videos, and we do appreciate that, but we definitely would really appreciate it if you subscribe right now. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Roy Robles of Zigwheels.Ph. I will see you guys next time.